Today we'll be getting into the new and returning offerings for the 2026 EPCOT International Festival of the Arts. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today is Sunday, December 21st, and you're listening to episode 119, EPCOT International Festival of the Arts for 2026. Before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on in the parks right now. The Disney Parks Magical Christmas Day Parade is going to air on ABC. This is going to be on Christmas Day at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be available also to stream on Disney+, Hulu, and the Disney Parks YouTube channel. That's going to be starting at 11 a.m. Eastern, and that's going to remain available on those platforms essentially through January 4th of 2026. Changing the dates, the year, it's the same thing every year. You're going to be writing 2025 and saying 2025 for
the
weeks.
First, pretty much the whole month of January.
Yeah, until you finally get it's 2026.
Exactly.
But anyways, long story short, this is a fun way to stay in tune to the parks from a distance, right? If you're not traveling over the holidays, which is the case for many of us, right? And there's also actually going to be a fun sneak peek look at Pixar's Hoppers, which is coming out in 2026, and the live action Moana, which also has its theatrical release coming up in 2026. So that'll be fun as well. Disney dropped some great Trader Sam's Grotto news. That's over at the Polynesian Village Resort at Walt Disney World. So we're really excited about this, and many people are going to be as well. So previously, the grotto opened at 3 p.m. and you needed to actually physically be present to kind of go see the cast members at the front of the door, like the entrance essentially.
Which is a very hidden door, I want to add.
Yeah, it's very nondescript. If you don't know it's there, you might miss it. But essentially, you had to go there to see the cast member waiting outside to put your name on the wait list. That's how it's been working up to now. But as of this recording, it's now going to open at 11 a.m. and you're going to be able to join the walk-up wait list directly from the My Disney Experience app, like you're already able to do at many of the other restaurants and lounges on property. This place is wildly popular, and it's difficult to get in pretty much any time. So having an extra 4 hours of opening time to experience kind of just the grotto in general is good news for guests. And yeah, the fact that you're going to be able to join it from the My Disney Experience app.
Huge bonus.
So essentially, as soon as you get within range of the Poly, you're going to be able to get on the app and join the list rather.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be awesome. Yeah.
There has been a change to shipping fees for merchandise bought at Walt Disney World. This is a good way to save space if it's at a premium when traveling home. So previously, the items that were of a value of $500 or less, the cost would range between $20 and $35 to ship them to your home. Now that cost is increased across the board depending on the value of your items. So for items valued $100 or less, it's $20. For items between $100 and $250, it's $35. And then for items between $250 and $500, it's $75. And for items worth $500 or more, it's $100. It starts to get pretty steep around that 75 range for shipping. So only you can decide if that is worth it for you or not.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And for a lot of people who are flying, that's something to consider,
Absolutely.
Right? So, but the more you buy essentially, or the more expensive merch you buy, the more it's going to cost you to ship it home 100%. If you don't have the space to take it with you on the plane. As we always say, though, if you're driving, it's fair game. You can buy the store, right? Put it in your trunk and away you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Christmas is just 4 days away, and we're going to be picking up my sister and my brother-in-law at the airport in a little bit. They've actually been delayed a touch, but they're scheduled to land about an hour and a half later than their original time. So that's not too bad, all things considered, considering the time of year up here too with the snow and the weather. It's been a bit of a disaster in the past week, but we're hoping they'll land very soon here. And yeah, we can't wait to see them, right? The kids are so excited to have them, with us at the house over Christmas, and we're going to be, decorating a gingerbread house, going sledding nearby, playing some board games, watching movies, eating good food. We actually have so much food in the house. It's actually unreal.
We have to remember to that's the thing. We bought lots of snacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's we have to actually put those things out.
That's
now.
the thing. Otherwise it stays in the pantry and then,
yes.
The holiday comes and gone and then, yeah.
Plus my wonderful mother, before they went up, her and my dad went up to Whitehorse to spend Christmas with my sister and her family. She did a bunch of baking for us, which is our favorite thing ever, is mom's baking. So we'll have to take all that out and make sure we eat it.
Yeah, agreed. Exactly. But yeah, all in all, we're really looking forward to, the next week or so. It's going to be nice to just relax and unwind and just kind of enjoy being together.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, just slowing it down a little bit. Life is so busy. So I'm honestly just really happy that we get to have some downtime and that we're able to enjoy the little moments together. The weeks and months throughout the year just kind of, honestly, they just gel together. So it's important to make time during the holidays and just enjoy the little moments.
For sure. I couldn't agree more. And, for our first responders out there working over the holidays and, any other profession that has you working over Christmas, right? Thank you for what you do. Know that we appreciate you and your service, and please stay safe this holiday season. And we hope you do get some, a chance to get some quality time in between shifts to hang out with your loved ones and, eat a Christmas meal and just spend some time. Another thing we'll quickly mention as well is that we'll be taking a small recording break over the holidays. So we won't drop a new episode that's going to be next Tuesday, December 30th, but we'll be back with our usual schedule on Tuesday, January 6th. With that said, let's get into today's main topic, which will be EPCOT's International Festival of the Arts for 2026. So this is one of 4 EPCOT festivals held throughout the year, and it's usually around mid-January and it runs through the end of February-ish, right? The dates this year are January 16th through February 23rd for a total of 39 days. The Walt Disney World Marathon weekend wraps up on January 11th, and Flower and Garden actually kicks off on March 4th, so it's basically sandwiched in between those two events. It's a really short festival, just like Festival of the Holidays, but it is a touch longer by about a week. But when you compare it to festivals like, Flower and Garden and Food and Wine, those respectively run for like 3 months. So this is definitely kind of a really tight window of time to experience the offerings.
Festival of the Arts is the newest of the EPCOT festivals, and it made its debut less than 10 years ago in 2017. As the name implies, it's centered around art, so think fun colors, performances, visually stimulating culinary arts, just art-inspired offerings in general, and even artwork by Disney artists displayed throughout the park that are available for purchase.
Yeah, exactly. I was down there for it last year, and I will say it is a fun festival, right? There are no bad festivals in my opinion, but I will say that it is my least favorite of the 4. So hear me out. I love Flower and Garden because the park is, in my opinion, the most beautiful, right? With all the topiaries and the kind of flower arrangements just all around the park. I love Food and Wine for the food. And I love Festival of the Holidays just for the decor and the overall vibes. Christmas and Disney and Walt Disney World specifically at Christmas
Goes
is my
hand in hand.
It's my favorite. So yeah. But having said all that, I do love Festival of the Arts. Don't take it to mean I don't. I just prefer the other 3 just a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. And I completely agree with that as well. So let's get into the offerings that will be available at this festival. Returning this year is the popular A Paint By Numbers Mural. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's a massive mural that gets filled in by park guests as the days go on. And the end product is a colorful, massive mural created by park guests. The mural gets swapped out as they are completed, so you'll have a few over the course of the festival. It is super easy to take part in. All you have to do is head to the expression section, which last year was located on the walkway between the World Showcase and Imagination Pavilions. And that's where it'll likely be again this year because it worked so well last year.
Yep, exactly.
You check in at the booth there, and then cast members will give you a small container of paint, a paintbrush, and a number. You'll then take your paint and go fill in a few squares that match the number you've been given. Usually you'll also be given a long, thin sheet that shows exactly what the mural will look like when it's completed, which is a very nice keepsake to take with you. It also makes a very nice bookmark, just on a side note.
Exactly. I use mine that I got last year as a bookmark.
Absolutely. This experience is typically available from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily during the festival, but it does pause during inclement weather. So if that happens, you won't be able to contribute until the weather improves.
Yeah, exactly. Another fun thing to experience during the festival is to meet and greet with talented Disney artists and kind of get a look at some of their work that they display as well. So around the park, there's going to be displays showcasing some of the artists, and you're going to be able to get an up-close look at the work that these really talented artists kind of do. So some of the artists that are going to be around the park this year are Rosina LaRusso. So she's making her appearance for the first time. And she's currently a senior character artist for Disney Consumer Products. And she specializes in Disney princesses and kind of other female characters like Tinkerbell and Minnie Mouse. You're also going to have Darren Wilson, who is the senior manager of graphic design for Disney Parks, Products, and Experiences. And he has been a cast member for 26 years. So good for him, right? He's got that under his belt. So he's known for award-winning designs, and his work is featured prominently at the Art of Disney galleries, kind of in the parks and resorts and whatnot. He's also taken part in feature films like Coco, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, and the live-action adaptations of Pinocchio, Peter Pan, The Lion King, and Aladdin. And he currently designs for Disney Consumer Products and Disney Parks. And returning for his 6th year is Dylan Bonner. He has been drawing Disney princesses for comic books, toys, and consumer products and fine art in recent years as well.
Yesenia Moises will also be at the festival. She's an Afro-Latino author, illustrator, and toy designer known for her colorful picture books. She uses a unique style, and her work has been featured with renowned publishers, toy companies, and television studios. Dave Perillo is an illustrator and designer based out of Philadelphia. He actually got his artistic start illustrating for medical journals. This led him to create his own pop culture-inspired art, including artwork for park attractions like Haunted Mansion. And then nowadays, his work is featured at comic conventions and art galleries. Jared Maruyama is a freelance illustrator specializing in character concepts and design. He began his career as an art director in the children's educational software industry. Since then, he has worked with several industry leaders in the entertainment and toy world, including Disney. And last but not least is Josie Sao, who is an illustrator based out of LA. She has worked as a concept designer for theme parks and as a background painter in animation. Her career had her work with Walt Disney Imagineering, Disney Publishing Worldwide, Disney Yellow Shoes, Disney's Wonderground Gallery, just to name a few. And this is just the artist that Disney has teased so far. There are going to be many, many more artists throughout the festivals at different times.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, Figment's Brush with the Masters scavenger hunt is back for 2026. So just like the other scavenger hunts kind of throughout the year at the other festivals, you buy your map and stickers from one of the merchandise locations in the parks. The cost is $9.99, right? So $10 per map and sticker sheet. And then you're going to hunt for Figment inside art inspired by world famous works at each of the pavilions kind of around the World Showcase. So there will be a Figment themed picture kind of in each country, right? And each time you locate Figment, you match your sticker with the corresponding location in the pavilion, right? Replicated on your map. When you're done all that, you turn in your completed work at Disney Traders, Creation Shop, or World Traveler, and you're going to be rewarded with a prize for your efforts, right? And don't worry, if for whatever reason you can't or you don't complete the hunt, you can still redeem your map essentially for your prize, right? They're never going to deny you that.
No, never.
This is a really good option to kind of keep your littles entertained, right? If you're wanting to just kind of slow down in the World Showcase and just like, check out some of the art and, or maybe grab some snacks at the food booths or as the at the food studios,
That's
right? Like they're referred to during this festival. But yeah, it's just a good way to keep the kids busy if you're wanting to just slow down a little.
Slow down, absolutely. Yeah. And then new for this year, the festival is actually going to be leaning into the Lorcana card trading scene. I'll be honest, we don't know much about it, but this is what Disney is saying. You're going to be able to join a collection quest where, as an Illumineer, you get to open Disney Lorcana booster packs and then trade cards with other guests in the Illumineers Lounge, which is inside the Morocco Pavilion. Once complete, you can redeem a limited edition Magical Places promo card. There will also be what Disney is calling Ink and Find. For this, you'll be sent to look for and find the larger-than-life trading cards strewn around EPCOT. When you locate a card, you match it to the special ink stickers on your complimentary Festival Quest book to receive an additional limited edition Magical Place promo card. So pretty similar to the other scavenger hunt that EPCOT usually offers.
Yeah, exactly. And to participate in these, you can pick up your Festival Quest book on the bridge located between World Celebration and World Showcase. When you've completed your quest, you can pick up your Magical Places promo card from Illumineers Lounge in the Morocco Pavilion or in Figment's Inspiration Station, and that's over at the Odyssey. And then also on the bridge that leads to the World Showcase, you can get your photo taken by a PhotoPass cast member at the Artful Photo Op. It's going to feature essentially card art from the Disney Lorcana set Fabled. And you're also going to be able to get your photo taken with Mickey Mouse as the brave little prince and his sweetheart princess, Minnie Mouse.
And then over at the America Gardens Theater, you have two offerings throughout the festival as well. The first is Animation Academy. Disney hasn't explicitly said that this is where it's going to be held, but this is where it was last year. This is essentially the same thing as the standing animation experience at the Conservation Station at Animal Kingdom. So you'll learn to draw a specific Disney character during a session led by a Disney animator. And then, of course, the main show during the festival is the Broadway Concert Series. These shows will happen 3 times a night, and Broadway stars will perform songs from Disney films and Broadway productions from Disney hits like Aladdin. Showtimes are likely to be 5:30, 6:45, and 8 p.m. You can also get a dining package to the shows as well, which went on sale on December 17th. So if your trip is lining up with this festival, make sure to reserve that soon.
Yeah, exactly. It's like anything else, right? They always do these dining packages for whatever offerings are at America Gardens Theater during the festivals. And this is no different, right? So these are live now. So if you have a trip coming up in, January, February, and you want to take advantage of that, make those reservations toot sweet. And on that note, the lineup was announced last month for who's going to be performing on what nights. So on January 16, 18, 19, 22, 24, 26, and 27, it's going to be Isabel McCalla and Adam Jacobs from Aladdin. And on January 17th, 20th, 21st, 23rd, 25th, 28th, and 29th, it's going to be Sierra Bogus from The Little Mermaid and Yolani Remy from The Lion King. On January 30th, and then on February 1st, 2nd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 10th, there's going to be Anastasia McCleskey and Josh Strickland from Tarzan. On January 31st and February 3rd, 4th, 6th, 8th, 11th, and 12th, there's going to be Mandy Gonzalez from Ada and Kissy Simmons from The Lion King. February 13th, 15th, 16th, and 19th will host Ainsley Melham from Aladdin and Ashley Brown from Mary Poppins. And February 14th, 17th, 18th, 20th, and 21st is going to be Susan Egan from The Beauty and the Beast and James Monroe Iglehart from Aladdin. And as a grand finale on February 22nd and 23rd, you're going to have Ashley Brown, Ainsley Melham, Susan Egan, and James Monroe Iglehart all performing in the same performance.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then something that they did last year was a Broadway showcase inside Communicore Hall. And the showcase is changing, but it is nice to see them use up this space for a purpose again. So this year, it'll be Once Upon a Stage, The Magic of Disney on Broadway. It'll showcase the artistry behind famous stage productions like The Lion King, Aladdin, and Beauty and the Beast. You'll find authentic props and costumes, intricate photo ops, and then behind-the-scenes insights.
Yeah, they did something similar last year, and it was really, really cool. I like that they're using the space at Communicore Hall for this purpose and kind of recent festivals. Exactly. So it's nice to see that happen.
Agreed.
And then, of course, it wouldn't be a festival without food booths, right? So like I said earlier, these are called food studios for Festival of the Arts. So just like the other festivals throughout the year, the eats are themed to each festival. So, of course, for this one, it's art-inspired cuisine. And returning this year is the food scavenger hunt named the Wonderful Walk of Colorful Cuisine. So to participate, just like any other, right, you can purchase select dishes at the various food booths or food studios, right? And you collect stamps in your festival passport that you can pick up pretty much anywhere in the park, including the food booths themselves. Every time you purchase an eligible dish, you can collect your stamp at the back of the passport. And once you've collected 5 dishes, you can redeem that for a prize, which is usually another treat themed to the festival in some way. Last year, it was a Rice Krispie treat with like a figment press on like a white chocolate kind of topping.
Did you end up getting one?
I did. Yeah, I completed it, but it was just okay.
Okay, fair.
But anyways, it was cute. So at least there's that. You can take a photo of it and throw it up on your Instagram.
I thought you were going to say, and then throw it in the garbage. You can do that too if you really want.
No, I did eat it. That's how I know it wasn't great. But
fair.
Yeah. And on that note, we're still waiting for the foodie guide, right? So that has not dropped yet. So the redemption booth where you're going to be able to collect your prize once you've completed it. And what the prize is going to be is still a mystery. But that foodie guide should come out, I would say, in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's usually about 2 to 3 weeks before the festival starts, right? So given that we're about a month out, yeah, we should see that in the next couple weeks, I would say.
Yeah. And it would not be a festival without merch. This year, the color palette is teal, blue, purple, pink, and on a very dark, almost black backdrop. There is a new Spirit jersey featuring Figment drawing the World Showcase as the centerpiece. The back print reads EPCOT International Festival of the Arts 2026. There's Loungefly mini ears featuring a purple bow embellished in fireworks with the iconic Spaceship Earth medallion at the center. There's a dark blue baseball hat featuring Figment painting around the iconic Spaceship Earth. There's a Figment ornament which features him looking out at Spaceship Earth and the luminous nighttime spectacular in the background. There's also a Figment plush. I feel like Figment is definitely the key here.
It always is. Farts, yeah.
Like I said, there was a Figment plush with a paint-splattered artist apron. He's also wearing a beret and carrying a paintbrush. You'll also have a Loungefly bag featuring the same depiction of Figment as the ornament. And then lastly, you have a refillable water bottle and a cup, both matching the year's color palette and design. So definitely no shortage of merch as usual.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said earlier, for like what food is going to be specific at the festival, right? That foodie guide should drop really soon. And it's going to, of course, highlight the menus that are going to be at the food studios throughout the park. And it's also going to tell you which specific items are part of the Wonderful Walk of Colorful Cuisine. And they usually have more than 5, right? So you can kind of shop the menus ahead of time, see what you would prefer most. And then when you're actually in the park, you don't have to kind of figure that out on the fly. You can have a list essentially of the ones you're going to want to prioritize. And then you can just go and
And what did you think of the food last year?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked about this before. So Epcot is the prettiest during Flower and Garden, but I find I'm just not a big plant-based guy. Not to say that, like, for example, avocado toast. I really like that. But some of the other plant-based options I'm not a huge fan of. And obviously there's a heavy emphasis on that during Flower and Garden. So the food is probably my least favorite.
Yep.
My favorite food is Food and Wine. Second favorite is
hands down.
Festival of the Holidays, because it's like usually hearty dishes, right? And like those cookies are usually unreal.
Yes, I would agree with you 100%.
And then I would put the food at farts at number 3. Yeah, Festival of the Arts, right? At number 3. And then, Flower and Garden would be last for food, right?
I think that's fair.
So yeah, I mean, the food studios, everyone's going to be able to find something that they want, right? And like I say something, but there's like 20 food booths, right? So you're going to find many things that you're probably going to want. But yeah, like the items that are on the Wonderful Walk, they're set, right? So whatever list are kind of set out by Disney of which ones you're going to be able to buy to get the redemption. You're kind of confined to whatever those are. But there's always more than 5. So you're not like, it gives
stuck with 5.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you a little bit of,
because you are spending the money. You want to make sure it's something that you're going to eat.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. It gives you more than 5 options so that you can, get whatever is most appealing to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of on that note, January in general is actually a really good time to visit.
Yes.
Post marathon weekend, right? During the marathon weekend, it's busy.
It's busy,
But after that, it starts to quiet down, and then the parks are less crowded. The weather is actually usually pretty mild, right? So it can actually be really cold at times. So that's not great, but it's not necessarily a bad thing either, because when you go in like July, August, September, it's like unbearable.
It's too hot sometimes. Yeah,
super, super hot, and sometimes in November, January, December range, it can be really, really cold, but that typically means the crowds are lower.
Absolutely.
Which can be
that can be a blessing.
Exactly. It can make up for that colder weather.
Yeah.
And before we sign off here, I also want to take a quick second just to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy 2026. I want to thank you guys for following along with us this year. If you've been here, for months or since the start, thank you. It really means a lot from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate you, and we wouldn't be able to do this without you. So again, very Merry Christmas. I wish you nothing but health and prosperity in 2026.
Absolutely. Here's to 2026.
And with that said, thank you for joining us today to talk Festival of the Arts. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And as always, if you could leave us a rating and review, it would be greatly appreciated. If you choose to do so, you can leave reviews right on Apple Podcasts. And for Spotify, you can leave a rating.
You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Let's Go to Disney, as well as on our Facebook page, Let's Go to Disney. We share some helpful reels here as well as some fun ones. The link tree in the show notes will take you to all of our socials.
Have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.